Now, even though many of us got the opportunity to go to a restaurant, eat a nice plate of food, hunger is still the biggest problem, one of the biggest problems in South Africa. And this morning we're talking about an organization that's doing phenomenal work in the fight against hunger, namely Africa Food for Thought. And they came forward with a brand new cookbook called Love Home, which aims to feed the children of South Africa with the proceeds of you buying this book. And we have the co-founder of the organization with us, Neil, and also Greg, that contributed his recipe to the book. Guys, welcome to Expresso. Nice to have you.
Thanks, you.
Neil, let's start with you. Let's talk a bit about the organization, Africa
Yes.
Food for Thought.
Yes.
What is it all about? What do you guys do?
Well, essentially, we started off about 8 years ago feeding just a few children in an informal settlement. And it grew so quickly because, as you said, the need is so great.
It is.
That within literally 8 years, we're now feeding 11,000 children every day. And we feed through schools in our areas. We feed through informal creches in those same areas. And we also have a large number of what are called OVCs, orphan and vulnerable children families. We have 75 of them.
Sure.
And we feed those guys on a monthly basis as well.
So it's grown over the 8 years quite a bit. What are the areas that you're focusing on?
We're in Muldersdrift, Kagiso, Slowoville, Dobsonville, parts of Soweto, Zola, those kinds of area.
And I mean, it's so important for the general public out there to get involved and help with this fight against hunger. How much does it cost to feed a child on a daily basis?
It depends. If you're talking at a school level, we're talking about R8.50 a month. That's not a lot of money. If you're talking at a creche, it's about R10 a month. But our OVCs, they're costing about R3.85 a month because we in fact look after the entire household.
Exactly. So if you think about it, it's actually not that bad.
It's
It takes a
lot.
little small effort from you guys out
Yes.
there. Now, the cookbook Love Home, how did the idea come about?
Well, basically, we have grown very, very fast in the last few years. But then we kind of stalled because of a lack of space.
Yes.
And also a lack of funds. We are very sustainable, but we've kind of stuck at 11,000 children a day. And now we want to go to more. We have a long waiting list. So we thought we need to launch some really quite dramatic funding initiatives.
Yeah.
And this is one. We've got a golf day coming up, but the recipe book was a very big one. It's a tangible thing you can offer people rather than just asking for a handout.
And the proceeds will go towards the organization Feeding
Yes.
Kids. Greg, you contributed your recipe to this book. What prompted you in the first place to get involved?
Well, I've been working with Neil on Africa Food for Thought since its inception. Our company is a sponsor of it. And, for me, education is one of the few routes people have to lift themselves out of poverty. And you can't learn and study if you're hungry. So It's something very basic, very close to my heart. I love cooking. And, you can contribute money to these things, but really providing a recipe, it's a bit of time, which is sometimes more difficult to do. I thought it would be very helpful to Neil to have a vegetarian recipe inside his cookbook because generally people provide meat recipes. I'm married to a vegetarian, so I know looking at cookbooks, it's often quite difficult to find something for them to make, and this is a favorite dish amongst my vegetarian friends.
What are we? Because we're going to be actually cooking your recipe today. What is your recipe?
Well, it's a bean pasta,
Nice.
a kind of Italian-Mexican blend, not too hot, and with some yogurt at the end. Brings out the flavors beautifully.
Can't wait to actually cook that up.
Good colours.
Neil, just to come back to you quickly, there's a lot of recipes in here. Like Greg, I mean, a lot of people contributed their recipes. Where did all these people come from?
Well, we put out an appeal to everyone that we knew. So as Greg said, our company's been a sponsor, so we put it out to all of those guys. And we've got a number from our company, but also all of our volunteers, their husbands, their schools, their companies, our other sponsors as well. And we got eventually about 150 recipes, of which we eventually used about 134.
Yeah, there's some fantastic recipes in here. Of course, we are giving away one of five. We're giving away actually 5 copies of the book Love Home today. We'll tell you all about that after the break.